This is just about the sickest reading I've ever done. Maybe I'm just exaggerating because I don't know, but this one just felt really good, pulling it out the whole way through and ending with the full, oh my god. So it was for myself originally, but anytime I feel a reading is this like fitting, I just feel like I have to share it. So I'm just going to take you through just so you can sort of glance around, and then I'll go through and explain some of what I'm feeling about this. I'm so excited to get to this part of the reading. So we started off with these color cards. All four popped out. This deck, all the decks actually were extremely talkative today. I think it's because I just meditated for 2 hours. So the cards tend to be really flowing after that kind of thing. So brilliance, discover your sparkle. Silver, be persistent. Green, revitalize your nervous system. And orange, nurture yourself. So sparkle and spark made me think of nervous system and your nerves, especially in terms of being persistent with the nurturing of yourself, which goes back to revitalizing your nervous system. I think that those all go together, because this is kind of a sense of calm and flowing about it too. It's like an action-oriented calm though, but like taking action consistently and persistently, but from a very powerful place, knowing what your power is capable of. With this waterfall, it's like it's not just water, it's the power of gravity as well. And let me see. I wanted to compare these two because of the way that these all fell out, where I felt like they had really good matches. So Dragonfly, Emergence, and Brilliance, Discover Your Sparkle. I don't think I need to actually explain that to you guys. I think you kind of get that about coming out of your shell because you've realized the power that you have inside. Stone People, Vigilance, and Silver, be persistent. Again, I just think that these go really well together. I think that you can probably feel the way that the vigilance of that and the persistence of this go together. Shaman, Ancient Healing Wisdom, and revitalizing your nervous system. Oh, you know what? I think that I actually... this was interesting to me, this sort of like these four together of dance, celebration, and nurture yourself. I think that these four go together really well, because I think that, especially for me personally, because I've become, by some people's definition and standards, a shaman of sorts, because I've begun healing people with energy and touch and body work. I think it's really especially important for me to keep a really good track of how my nervous system is feeling, because I very much believe in only healing when I am in a place to do so, when my energy is right for giving to others and alchemizing for others and with others. So I think that's actually telling me that the way that I need to nurture myself is to continue dancing, which I actually got that memo last night, but I was like just kind of tired and I was doing other things and I just didn't end up having the time. But this message is telling me like this is the way that I have to be nurturing myself and connecting back to myself is dance. And I'm just making this connection now, but with this phobias card, that anytime I'm feeling anxious or stressed and then I dance, it really disappears pretty quickly, and I just feel like I get in a flow with the universe, and my fears either disappear or feel very manageable, and I start to feel like, okay, like that wasn't so bad, I can figure this out, I'm capable of getting through this like just fine, like I'm perfectly capable of that. Then I want to go to biblical and spirituality. So these are past life cards. So this was kind of indicating to me like what was coming up in relation to this. So originally what I thought when I saw this phobias card and the nervous system was like, where are your fears fraying your nerves? So the thing that is interesting about this, and then also, let me just like jump down here for a second. This reading, it's not all over the place. It like makes perfect sense. Every bit is connected to each other, so it might seem like I'm jumping around, but I'm really not. So, Una, easy does it. There's no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect timing. And then, like, let me just point out, like, little connections here, like, easy does it, no need to hurry or force a relationship. But this teamwork aspect of saying work with others to make this situation come about. And then sharing, when you share, everyone feels happy. So I'm going to come back to that. But this easy does it thing coming up right near the nervous system card, I think it is saying, like, again, watch where your fears are fraying your nerves, because your fears about one part of your life, about like, will this come to manifest, will this work out, or has something gone wrong, have I made a mistake, or have I miscalculated or something like that. And it's saying, like, those fears are fraying your nervous system, which is then in turn affecting, I think, everything else. So it's really just saying, like, if your fears have anything to do with timing or what is the case right now, they're just saying, like, again, be persistent, know your power, have faith, take a risk, put your heart's true desire into action. I think I actually thought it was really interesting that these came out, because in a way they're opposite of each other, where this one's saying, like, take a risk, take action, and this one's saying, like, chill, you don't need to force it. So I think it's saying energetically, or rather take risks where you know your action is needed, because again, I think that these fears can be taking up a certain amount of energy that are distracting from the actual things that you could be taking action on, whereas these other things that are, like, you're gonna have to, what I saw when I saw this card, the teamwork and the spouse thing, I was like, honestly, I feel like the universe can be allowed to be your partner right now. I mean, if you're partnered and your partner, either a lover or a friend or some kind of soulmate connection, not necessarily romantic, if you have something like that in your life that is able to help you through this stuff, that's fine. But I really feel like we're in a time right now where we're, like, really just focusing on nurturing ourselves and being our own, like, really being in partnership with the universe, being sort of our own whole unit, our own spouse, and allowing whatever our partner is able to give us, but other than that, like, really trusting in the universe to have our back where we are lacking that in a, like, physical manifestation of a person, teammate kind of thing. So I really think, like, allow the universe to bring you the people that will be your teammates. So, like, say you have 1,000 tasks to do in this lifetime, and it would be really difficult for you to do them on your own, like, and equally it would be very difficult for you to do that with one person, to do those 1,000 tasks. But trust in the universe and ask the universe to bring you those 1,000 people throughout your life to complete every one of those tasks. So, like, allow people to be your spouse for the moment, sort of, like, with whatever the task is that you're co-creating, whatever you are co-manifesting. So even that, if that is just like a day in time where you're doing one workshop with a person, where you're having one conversation with a person that might bring about something for both of you separately, like, allow yourself to be completely, like, in partnership with that moment, those people in that place, and allow yourself to see, like, well, what possible task or thing am I able to create and manifest from this situation with this person that the universe has brought me. And then try something new. I'm really not gonna, I think that because this came up in, like, very close to this one in proximity physically, I think it's just saying, like, don't discount what may make you feel really good and in your power, Yeah, and then I think that this share card coming up next to nurture yourself has to do with sort of finding the place again that all of this fits together with, like, the fears and the self-healing and dancing and celebrating and seeing, okay, what can you share? Are you going to share the energy? Are you going to share the actual process of what you're doing? Are you going to talk about it? how are you going to share? And that really could just be like being that energy and being that energy around other people. Or in my case, I think that it's like when I'm cultivating this healing energy for myself, I am so much like, I try to consistently stay in that energy of healing myself, and then I find that I'm actually very good at healing other people when I'm consistently and persistently healing myself and discovering my sparkle, but really like being my own light. And I think that's what this spirituality and religion thing comes back to, because these feel very like personal. There's just one person in each of them, so I feel like it's saying like, tap into your inner divinity in and of yourself. If you want to do that with other people, super cool. But if you want to do that on your, rather, I guess what I'll say is use that as a supplement, but make sure that you are doing some form of diving into yourself by yourself. Like, use the group work as a supplement, because it can be super helpful and super, like, as a supplement, it can really, really boost you. And I will jump to this card because I said that. Ascension, Serapis Bay. Move into yourself, your true self, rise above the darkness. The light is here. I absolutely think so, but I think that you'll only correctly perceive the brilliance of that light if you are doing work by yourself. Because sometimes in group work you can get to be where you're like, oh, I can only reach this level if I'm with a group, if I'm like co-creating with a whole bunch of people who are holding the same intention. Is not true. Like, it is so powerful to do group work, but it is absolutely necessary to do it as well on your own, consistently by yourself. And this biblical thing, I think it's just like saying to dig really deeply into what's going on for you and realize like times are changing, that there is a bit of like an energetic, I don't want to say apocalypse, but kind of like a chance for renewal, a chance for something really like huge to take place this year. And I don't mean apocalyptic in a bad way. I almost mean like it bringing about such a change of a world where then you have like a new slate to create from. Like, so many things are being released that in a certain way, it's like a kind of like tarot tower moment where like, you know, things seem like they're falling, but actually it's like it's divine timing for things to certain things to fall apart so that you can create a new foundation from that, like of biblical proportions. So anytime this comes out, this card, which is like, it does not pop out very often, you know, it's a shy card. Anytime it comes out, I feel like it's saying like, this is big, don't discount what's happening right now as being incredibly potent for change and for manifesting like huge things that will really impact you for a long time. This card, Freya, phases and cycles. There is a beginning within every ending. Illusions are revealed and released. I think that's super important, and I think that there's going to be more than we actually think of right now. I think that there's a lot that's being shown to us as being not true for us anymore, where once it may have seemed true and now we're saying like, well, that was true for me for a time, like it was totally fitting that was my belief at the time. I think that our beliefs evolve as they're meant to, like in the correct timing. So right, we went over all these, yay, now we can get to the tarot part of this reading. So this became like a huge and really fast, brilliant story. So the Hierophant card is typically associated with Taurus, but it's also associated with religion. Because this guy is the Pope. It's associated with like a certain amount of power, a certain amount of like tradition, authority. This guy has a lot of like luxury around him and sort of disciples, like people looking after him. So essentially I think this is saying like buck tradition, because that's what's going to get you out of this like hanged man energy where you're feeling stuck and kind of strung up and kind of caught. And these two both being upside down, like this is a great card to get upside down. It's actually like one of my favorites just personally. Because I think that I can get stuck in this energy on my, like I can string myself up too easily with various things. So anytime this comes up upside down, it's basically saying, like, you're seeing it from a new perspective. You're seeing how you can be unstuck, how you can be right side up and have this halo, like, correctly aligned. And I think coming right after this, like, reversed tradition card, I think it's saying, like, buck tradition in order to get out of your own way and, like, to stop being strung up and caught. Like, don't allow tradition to dictate your next moves, because, like, this is a whole new world. Like I said, like, in terms of apocalyptic, not being in a negative way, but, like, this is a whole new world. Okay. This. Super interesting. This is a card of exploration, of basically seeing what's out there and not exactly knowing, but, like, really he's a guy who's kind of, like, turned his back on what he knows, and he's like, I know that there's something out there. I can see for miles, and I can see that my path is clear, and I don't know what's beyond that, but I know that I can go there, and I know I have to. Like, he just has this, you can feel it within him. He has this sense that something beyond what he sees is out there that he must go and discover. And I think it's, like, because this card comes after, it's discovering this immense amount of, like, power, and it's almost a patriarchal, like, masculine power within oneself. So I think especially if you're a woman, honestly, I think this whole, like, patriarchal discussion, it's really complicated, because I think that there is so much in terms of the patriarchal thing of, like, adopting our own, as, like, women, adopting our own sense of patriarchy of ourselves, because we are not just our own matriarchs. Like, we are whole people. We are our own spouse. So where are you allowing the patriarchy to take away this sword from you? And how can you, like, what journey do you have to go on, like, possibly for the rest of your life, possibly just, like, a journey that you make every day in meditation or whatever, to find this place where you feel very in your power, able to be sharp and decisive and commanding of your kingdom. Because, like, this guy, he doesn't necessarily have a kingdom, or maybe he does and he's just, like, going elsewhere to see what's out there, but, like, this guy, I just feel like this guy is on a journey to find this power within him. And I think, too, like, part of the patriarchy is that some of the authoritarian issues really fuck up, God, sorry for my language, really mess with guys, because it messes with their sense of their own masculinity. And I feel like guys should feel their masculinity. Like, they should feel in their power the same way that women should feel their masculine power and their feminine power. And you have to find the balance within you of what feels right, how much of each, and how much of, like, what is beyond that, entirely beyond that duality. Where is the singularity within that is just about personal power, personal, like, ability to create the way that the universe creates. Like, we have that within us, all of us, no matter if we're masculine or feminine, a female or a male, whatever you identify as, or somewhere in between. You have this personal power to be decisive and to create and to command. This part of the reading I'm so psyched to get to. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is a card of, like, again, singular thought, in a certain way singular direction, but more so singular thought because of the swords. And honestly, this, like, some people call this, no, I'm not going to talk about that. This is an energy of, like, earthly stagnation and diminishment, and, like, just being less than what you are. It's so much, like, less. This card is just, like, so not where we're at, and this card really can be about cutting things away. And coming right before the Emperor, this makes, like, so much sense to me. Okay, so this is essentially saying, like, anywhere where you're diminishing yourself, where you're, like, thinking that, like, oh, I just have this one little coin to offer, and, like, say this is you, this is me in this reading, like, this is what I'm taking as, like, the most me card, like, even despite that this is a Gemini card and I'm a Gemini, which is, again, what, like, and I identify with many of these cards, but this, to me, screams out as being, like, the person at the center of this whole reading. Like, this is the figure, and this is a card associated with Mars and with Aries, and Mars is about to go into Aries in just a few days. So I think that this whole reading ends up being about the Mars and Aries personal power, because Mars and Aries is very, like, it is the epitome of drive passion, knowing your worth, knowing like your own energy, and that it comes from the universe. Like Aries is the initial spark. There's like so much to be said that my throat is like, it's like bursting at the seams wanting to say so much, because I really, anyway, so like let me go in here. These are the rams. You see those little rams there? And that's the anyway, Mars, Aries. Absolute epitome of like realizing your desires and taking action towards your desires, which was be persistent, take a risk, take action, true, oh my god, putting your heart's true desire into action. Aries is this sign where they're so, in a certain way, they are so completely pure, because like they are the first sign, they are the spark of the universe, like the spark of everything, just that like first spark of light. So it's just this pure need to like create. It's like the initial like spark that gets a flame going, that then gets the fire going. Like that is what the sun is. That's what is the fire in each of us and in each of our cells. So like Mars in Aries is just, I'm so excited for it, and I think everybody should be, because anything that you've been really like mulling around in your head being like, why can't I just like make it happen? Why can't I go for it? Why can't I run towards it? It's because Mars has been resting all this freaking year. Mars was in Capricorn, not really I mean, that's a complicated thing, but Mars went into Aquarius early this year. That's not the place where it does. It's the place where it like thinks and thinks and thinks and thinks instead of acting. Mars in Pisces is really resting and basically being like, well, I'm about to like run a marathon, so I need a rest because I just was like thinking about it, and now I need a rest because I'm about to run. So Mars is in Pisces right now, and there's just been so much like release and like hydration and just rest, so that December 31st, Mars goes into Aries, we run. So this energy of being like, oh, is this enough? I have this to offer you. And I'm not saying that that's a person. I mean, it could be, but any person would just be a reflection of something within yourself that you're saying that you accept. So we're saying no. This personal power that we just created here, that's turning into this sort of like scepter of like manifesting passion of the things that you want to do, is like, this isn't going to cut it. This little earthly energy that's like, I have this to offer, and that's within you, and that little voice that's like, oh, I can do this for the world, and maybe I want to become this, and maybe I can have this dream real. Like, no, this is the place that you're in right now, that you're about to be in, if you're not already starting to feel it. And why? Because normally this can be a card of like, immense pain in your heart. And this upside down is really good because it means that the swords are falling out. It means that this personal power, these like, again, this 3 leading here, this journey, like I said, to find your own personal power, the place where you're very sure of yourself and not like needing somebody else to tell you what to do, like being your own spouse. My goodness. Has turned into this 3 of Swords, like releasing of this stuff that pains your heart, that pains your ability to cultivate the passion, because your heart is like, it's been resting and healing and releasing and being washed clean. And why? Because again, we are our own soulmates. And yes, this also, I'm gonna go here. This is a card of great love. And like, why can we not have this? Why can we not accept this like little bit right over here? Because we're going for the big one. We're going for the love within ourselves, within our community, within our relationship or relationships, within our friendships. Like, we're not doing anything less than this anymore. That's Mars and Aries. That's Mars and Aries with the Gemini energy, which is why I do love both of these cards. This is associated with Geminis, by the way. And we're going for the love, this place where we are united within ourselves, the feminine and the masculine, in communication with the divine, knowing that we are being watched over, that we are in a place of abundance. And even that snake, honestly, like, that snake, it's this, it's a protective energy. It's a Kundalini rising energy. It's good. It's back to this Ascension card. moving into your true self, knowing the light is here. And moving on, this is often a card of love, but again, as with this Page of Pentacles, like, again and again, this thing is saying, like, we're not doing anything small anymore. We're doing things of biblical proportion. We're letting go of our phobias. We're nurturing ourselves. We're being real good to ourselves. Like, anyway, this card being in reverse is like, yeah, again, we're not doing anything less than this. We're not doing this, oh, I have something to offer you. Like, nor are we doing that to ourselves of, like, saying, like, oh, well, maybe I'm good and maybe I'm worthy of love and this little cup that the universe has to have to offer. No, we're doing the hard work that Mars and Aries is giving us the energy to do, because this is where we're going. This big love. The kind of love that makes you feel like you have this, like, okay, this is a card of the universe saying, here's this wand, you can make anything you want from it. You have no limits with what this can do. This is like it's not just a get out of jail free card, it's a be anything you want card. It's a make anything, manifest anything, create anything, divine anything that you want. And that's what this love is. This love within ourselves, this love that makes us feel whole, that makes us attract this whole beautiful energy of family and contentment and fulfillment and union within ourselves, a union with ourselves in relation to the universe. Oh my God, it's so good. So again, that's the kind of love we're going for, the kind that makes you feel like you could do anything. The kind that makes you feel like you don't have to hold on to these 4 little coins. Again, everything that's in reverse here is really, like, good for it to be in reverse, like, perfect. So this is saying, like I said, like, you can let go of those 4 little coins because you're not waiting for that anymore. You're not saying that these 4 coins are what you're going to settle for. You are the star. You have this ability to manifest as much light, as many stars as you want. You are the star. Look at these little stars here. You are the star. You can make more of them. You can take from this abundant source of universal source energy, this water here, and then you pour it onto the ground to make it a physical manifestation, to grow what you want, to grow more stars. Because the Queen of Cups knows what she is worth. She knows herself emotionally. She is in her power. She's connected to source, like, complete, like, that is the source. She's literally, like, you see how the water here is imitated in her cape? Like, she is one with the fabric of the universe, and she knows it. And that's how she's able to jump off this cliff. Eyes up to the sky. Very little baggage, nothing really taken with them. Just knowing, like, you can walk off that cliff and be whatever you want. You're walking off that cliff into that new world. That's what Mars and Aries is bringing us. I am so excited for every one of us. Let me know if you want a reading of your own, if you want a Reiki session, either distance healing, or if you live near me in South Florida, you can contact me about potentially doing an in-person session. I do have rules and boundaries regarding that, but online you are welcome to ask me for a distance healing session or a meditation session. I also am doing full, like, year-long spreads, like a spread for every month. It'll be like I think it's like about 8 cards, like 7 or 8 cards per month, and a 12-month spread of that. Also, like I said, just like a general reading just like this. It might be more or fewer cards. This was like a real, like, the cards were very talkative today and they had a lot to say to me, and I wanted to transmit that to you guys. I'm just so excited about this reading. It's really one of the ones that, like, I mean, I always have a good reading, but this was, like, so much just, like, give, fire, like, so good, so good. I'm so excited for all of us. Have a very blessed new year. Think of this as your, like, New Year's Eve reading. I'm so excited about this. Yes. Let's be this year. Yeah, we're being this, we're being this, we're being this, we're being this, we're being this. Yeah, so just like basically pay attention to these like major arcana cards here. Is like we're being all the power, we're being the drive, we're being the love, we're being the fulfillment, we're being the light in the world, we're being the knowing in the world, and we're being the bravery in the world. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for us. Love you. Have a beautiful end of your 2018 and a miraculous and fantastic 2019. Bye.